AchieveRadio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/AchieveRadio.
Hi, I'm Anne Marie, and you are listening to Achieve Spiritual, Holistic, and Self-Improvement Radio. And Joseph, how are you today?
Oh, I'm fine. I can't see you, but I'm great. And
I
how are
can't
you
see me
doing?
either.
You
Can't
can
see you,
see.
can't see me either. Um,
Oh,
I'm doing good, and I even
yeah.
got a cup from the Dollar General that says Happy Fall.
Oh.
So I'm getting into the mood. There you are. I can see you
Well, that's
now.
depressing. It's only August. Oh, there we are. All of a sudden,
Yeah,
poof, there we are, like magic.
yeah.
Cool.
Pretty grainy today, though. Are you grainy? I'm very grainy today for some reason.
Oh, if I'm
I'm
grainy, it's probably an improvement.
well, yeah.
So
So
you look.
yeah, um, I was going to say that. Yeah, I think I'm excited for fall. You don't like fall?
Oh, really? No, no. Well, I like it better than I like winter. But things dying all around me is not something that brings me
Oh,
joy. I'm a spring person, and
yeah.
I like spring and summer and all the activity of summer and all the wonderful times I can just sit outside with and just be half dressed and enjoy the warmth and enjoy the garden and enjoy the dog playing around outside. I love it. But when fall comes, it's like, oh dear, then I just feel cold all the time. That's how it
Well,
makes
for
me
me,
feel.
I'm a
Yeah.
fall girl. I'm a fall girl. Um,
Mm.
I'm freezing all the time in this camera for some reason. Um, so what is for me? It's just the sense of when the locusts start singing, which the locusts are starting to sing.
They
Huh.
are, and that I like. That I like.
And
And I
that
do
to
like
me,
Halloween, but that's October, and that's one of our last fun holidays before Christmas. So, you know,
yeah.
um,
Well,
it's one of my
I just to
favorites
me,
because it's just crazy.
yeah, the locusts start, then the next stage is the right now, especially with the drought that we're having. The leaves are going to start stressing and turning color early because when it
Oh,
rains all the time, the leaves don't turn the beautiful colors that they do when the leaves are stressed out by warm weather
oh,
and drought.
I see.
So, yeah. Anyway, today I thought we would discuss. There I go, freezing again. Um,
So am I. Actually, the air
I
just came on, so now I'm really freezing.
no,
Were we talking about deep
deep
thinkers, right?
thinking,
And
deep thinkers,
you,
and
right.
yeah,
And we have an article here, um, Psychic to Go, a website with two, being a numeral article. The 8 signs you're a deep thinker. So I have it right here in front of me, actually. So now this one starts off asking us questions. Have you
yes.
ever surprised yourself or anyone else with your profound insight about things? Do you love to discuss and
Well,
debate about the big
let's
questions of
start.
life?
Let's start with that one. I think that starts from children.
Or the
children that
profound
are,
knowledge about things.
yeah, I mean, I think certain children almost instinctively relate to adults better than other kids
Uh-huh.
sometimes because they are born with this wisdom that they almost don't know how to relate to the innocence or to the first step of thinking of other kids because
Well,
they're already old souls, wise thinkers.
well, I know I enjoyed being around people older than me, or kids older than me, or adults more than I liked being around kids my age. They just
Me
seemed,
too.
I don't know, asleep. I don't know,
Yeah, they
but
didn't seem like,
there's so much I wanted to talk about, and of course, kids don't talk; they just play. So when I was a
yeah.
kid, it was I don't know, but I know what you mean. That is something that I think kids are more prone to have insights. And as they
And
always say, from the mouth of babes, right, comes
right.
remarkable intelligence sometimes.
Right. And I think that that's also sometimes the sign of a indigo or crystal child too.
Hmm.
Sometimes
Oh,
that beginning of being a deep thinker in
right.
a child. What was the second thing you just said?
Well, it says here, do you love to discuss and debate about the big questions in life? Do you spend a lot of time with yourself to get away from everybody else and just to be alone with your thoughts? If this
And
sounds
stop
like
there.
you at all,
Stop there.
then you're
Do you,
likely to be a deep thinker.
do you think that a lot of deep thinkers are introverts or need to be
Well,
alone a
not all of
lot?
them are. Not all of them are. They
No.
usually are most often quiet and reserved, but they're usually also very open-minded, eloquent, passionate, and incredibly bright, according to this article, which is nice to know that. Um, Actually, they are misunderstood by most people because deep thinkers are more than just reclusive introverts. They're thoughtful and brilliant individuals who prefer to take their time, even in today's fast paced technological society, and understand themselves, the world, and those close to them. So that's how they're
Right.
different. They don't want to be pushed and caught up in all the rush and all the hustle and the bustle because they would rather focus more on these other things.
And that is such an interesting concept because I think deep thinkers have gotten a bad rap lately.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
they're now they're for some reason a lot of people see deep thinkers as too complex, or perhaps stuck in the muds at parties,
Oh, right. Yeah.
not necessarily getting into the small talk groove, you know.
Uh-huh.
And for me, when I'm around a lot of alcohol,
Yeah.
I just go into, you got to be kidding me. I mean, the thinking process of being completely inebriated people that are just
Oh, yeah. No, I have a real problem with, I don't want to be around anybody who's inebriated. I can't have a conversation with them. And they always do something embarrassing that I wish I hadn't seen or heard or was a part of.
I
Like
mean,
somebody just swooping over you and giving you a smooch. It's just like, oh my God, who are you? Get away from me. you know, it's
well,
especially these days, but you don't know what anybody's got.
yeah, don't smooch with me. Yeah, I guess it's just that it's easy to feel at large gatherings if you're a deep thinker. Now, I do very well in settings with other deep thinkers. You
Oh yeah.
know, I
Oh
I
yeah,
love
and
to
that's when all the lights
discuss.
go off on the head. That's the
Yeah,
sort of thing that a deep thinker loves. They love to have that discussion because they just light up.
discussion, debate,
That's
even if
that's where they get their thrill. Yeah.
it's even if it's ideas that I am in contradiction with, at least it's the sharing of ideas.
Well, I like the what if and suppose. Suppose this. And there are some people who are like, I don't want to think about that.
Yeah,
It's like, well, why
it's like,
not?
it
I
was
mean,
like,
because without suppose, then I can't. I mean, how do we write stories that entertain us? And how do we come up with things for entertainment if we don't say, let's suppose? And if we can't pretend, and now when I was a kid, I loved playing Let's Pretend, and I loved role-playing games where we would act out something. Act, we would just be different people, and we would do anything from crime scene investigations to or running from each other because somebody's the boogeyman. But I mean, whatever it was, we always had a story behind what we were doing. At least the kids that I played with, they seemed to just really love make believe, and I loved that when I was a kid. And that's where I had gotten most of my ideas to write stories and to go on to other things and art. And with art, I always had stories behind everything that I did. So that was something that was a very useful tool, and I wouldn't discourage, that sort of play at all. I think it's fun, you
yeah,
know, pretending.
I would even venture to say that perhaps the deep thinking child may also be a very intuitive child at times,
Sure.
and that the one thing that often deep thinking children or intuitive children are accused of is being storytellers.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's just a story. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
like, I can remember that to me, when I took a walk on a path in the woods or something like that, it seemed to me that whatever I was intuitively connecting with was as real of an experience as if as if it was just a common thing that they would, oh, I'm on a path, I see a bush, I see a trail. To me, it would be what I feel on the path, and that would become my story. And everybody would say, oh, that was just a story. Quit telling stories. But so I would venture to say then that perhaps deep thinkers are also authors and
Oh yeah.
artists, philosophers, and
Yeah.
people that are very uh, often the movers and shakers that feel and see things happening before they're happening in the market
Right.
scene even.
Oh yeah. Well, in the world of the arts, where people are, you have your writers and your artists, and these are all tasks that take some solitude and take time
Mm.
to focus
Mm.
and concentrate. You know, I can't write a story or anything really in a crowded room if somebody's talking to me because I'm not typing. You know what I mean? I'm doing another process. There are some people who think, oh, pause and you're typing for a moment. I want to ask you something. Okay, I'm not just pausing my typing. I am pausing a whole thought process, and I'm going to lose whatever I'm channeling to type. That's why typing a copy is not the same thing as writing because writing you have the plug in your head, you have the plug from coming somewhere into the head, and then the hands are doing the typing. It's sort of like my head is a bypass sort of thing where it just kind of goes through. Now if I'm
Right.
just typing copy, all I'm doing is looking at something I've already written, and I'm just simply typing it, I'm just simply changing the form of it. But even then, I'm going to start getting into that what I just wrote, and I'm going to change it as I'm retyping it. So I'm still creating as I'm typing. I'm never just typing unless I have a typing job like what I used to do at work. When I worked in an office, we just typed memos, and we didn't put a whole lot of thought into it other than the purpose of that particular memo. Do you see what I'm saying? Um,
Speaking of
yeah,
typing, I
yeah.
love the sound of old fashioned typewriters.
Oh yeah, yeah,
To
clickety
me,
clack.
to me, it's like tick 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 tick, tick, tick,
Oh
tick, 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 tick,
yes.
tick, tick,
Yeah.
tick. And it's like a rhythm. I can feel that I'm channeling through the
Yeah.
rhythm of the typing. And that's one thing I really miss. And I love setting my typewriter to the sound of a typewriter
Oh yeah, your
because,
keypad? Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because
Actually,
it's
a
still,
friend of mine said that he couldn't, he needed keyboards that had that feedback on it, that
yeah,
texture feedback of the key clicking back, you know, the
yes.
old-fashioned keyboard, because he found it very distracting. I said, well, what about those flat things where you just simply, all you hear are fingers drumming on the table? He said, no, he said, that would drive me crazy. And actually it would. I know people play musical instruments that don't have any sort of tactile feedback, and I think that would drive me crazy too. Because I'm
No, what do
used
you,
to doing things with my hands. I'm not used to doing things strictly by electronics. You know,
are
I'm
you
used to
talking
having
about
the
like
control
air
of
guitar?
the, yeah.
Like the
Well, this is
guitar on,
I learned by using my hands, and then to
right.
switch to not using my hands and say use voice recognition instead. That would drive me nuts. Um, because I don't write the way I talk. And if I'm talking, it's going to be a whole other form I'm not going to want. I'm going to have to retype everything if I'm just simply doing that. I mean, I think a person could do, obviously people have trained themselves to do this because some people prefer to just have voice to text and not ever type. But I feel like I have more control when I'm typing.
Right.
Because too often I've seen errors that go by, and I say, "What did you just say?" "Oh, I can't help it. That's my voice to text." I say, "You better correct. You better do something to correct that, because it's
Oh,
still your responsibility. If you're releasing a document and you can't use as an excuse, "Oh, it's that voice to text thing." Well, this that's not going to fly in a contract.
well,
Okay,
not only that, Joseph,
right?
in Keen, I use voice to text while I'm reading. And the thing is, you don't always get, you
No.
can come out with some horrible sentences that you never meant to say, and people go, "Well, the hell with you," and they'll get off, and
Right.
you're looking, you see what you said, and it's so horrible that you would never say things like that.
Right.
But that's what
Right.
voice to text does.
Yeah.
Some of the
Well,
time,
it quite literally, well, that's if it could read exactly. That's if it could translate what you're saying. Because sometimes, because of your dialect, if it doesn't know your speech patterns, it could just be a total disaster.
but
You know.
but Central America, or not, our Northwest America, usually we are pretty accent free because a lot of reporters and a
Yeah.
lot of TV people that have Southern drawls and New York accents are given lessons on how to speak
Yeah.
like Midwesterners
Yeah.
without an accent. But they
Yeah.
think we talk with an accent.
Actually, there's been some jokes, and some TV shows about that, even some movies where somebody is practicing. I saw a movie where a man walks into a dressing room where there's a newscaster in there, and he's practicing the news, and he's doing, "Hello, this is Jim Curtis with Channel 5," and he sounds just like you would hear any place else. And then the guy says, "Hey, Jim, how are you?" He goes, "Oh, I'm fine. How are you?" His voice totally out of
I've
totally
seen that.
completely different. And
I've seen
just
that.
yeah, you don't know what a person really sounds like until you hear them off camera talking to their friends, and then you know what they really sound like. And very
Exactly.
often too, people will hide their accent. And actually, I don't know why they would, but I would think that we could relax a little bit more. I don't think we need to all sound the same. I think it's nice to see that
No.
diversity. I think the only time it's a problem is when it's a very thick accent that we can't understand. And that's one of the things that we've always tried to teach, like with voice students and people who want to make better speeches, is it's okay to have an accent. It's okay to be who you are, but your audience should be able to understand you really well. So it's okay to have a little bit of that hint. That little hint of an accent can be very appealing, actually. But sometimes if
Right.
it's too lovely, people won't pay attention to what you're saying. They'll be listening to this beautiful voice you have, and they're not going to hear a thing. And that used to happen to Richard Burton when he would be in a
Oh,
restaurant.
he had
He'd
a
order,
beautiful
and the
voice.
waitress would say, "I'm sorry, could you please say that again? You sounded so great. I didn't get what you said."
I just want you to say it again.
Yeah, that poor thing. I was like, "Oh no."
Now, didn't he have a
But I
didn't
suppose
he
it
have an
could
English
happen.
accent? Did he have an English accent?
Me? Oh, who?
No. Did Richard Burton have an English
No,
accent?
actually, he doesn't. He had a Welsh accent because he was Welsh,
Oh,
not English.
oh.
Most people think he was, but I saw him interviewed once, and he said no, he's Welsh. And what
So
he
very,
what
very
people are hearing is
precise.
the Welsh, is his more refined Welsh accent, not the typical, just like with Britain, you have your refined accents that sound really lovely. Then you have
You're
um,
Cockney.
yeah, I guess you could call it hillbilly or whatever. I don't know, but there's some,
British
there's
hillbilly.
not really hillbilly, but you know what I
British
mean. It's
hillbilly.
something that's more colloquial, that's hard to understand. Something that is something that only people from the area might understand, not people from outside the area.
Probably,
So I think it's
probably,
fascinating, though. But I like to hear a little bit of that diversity. I don't like to hear everyone sounding exactly the same. That's just
no,
depressing.
you're right.
Yeah.
Well, we have Sunny, and she's from Arizona. And she says, hello, Anne-Marie and Joseph. My job
Hi.
seems to have gotten harder, and I don't know if it's because they are downsizing or just being a bully. The company name is TEDPro. Can you see if they are going to fire me or thank you? This is Sunny from Arizona.
Sunny. Well, I drew the Four of Cups, and it's upside down, actually. So I do see that perhaps you might need to take a more direct approach. You might have to come out and ask somebody because this card is someone who says that it's more of a it's 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 not something you're going to know until it's like you're hoping to find out. Well, you are hoping to find out, but I think you may have to be a little more forward in this respect to find out. I am seeing that you need to watch for negative thoughts creating, you need to, because these upside down cups don't hold a whole lot of joy. So I do see that you need to guard yourself from spiraling into negative thoughts. And I think if you need to actually try to give the illusion at least of being a little more confident and ask a direct question to somebody who is your supervisor, to say, I really do have to know this because it's a concern of mine. And actually, you have a right to be concerned about it. So that is something the card, for some reason, is telling me that you need to ask directly the person, because you will get an answer from them if they know. But now, if they tell you, you know what, we just simply don't know right now. We don't know. Well, that may be true, and I would say it may be a good time to keep your eyes open for other opportunities, but you might want to wait on this because I never like to tell anyone to leave a job. Never do. I never want to tell anyone
Right?
to do that.
Well, we
Never do
can't.
that. And if someone tells you, "Oh, just quit," don't do that. But I'm just saying you may need to use use tact, okay? ask the questions. Really, you do need to stay, because this way you stay in contact with them as well. So you always want to have that in. Stay in contact with your supervisors and your coworkers, and someone who actually will be the first one to know. That's what this card is telling you to do with these upside down fours of cups. Okay? And I think overall you're going to find out you'll probably have your answer in about 4 days to 4 weeks. I don't see this
Mm.
going on for 4 months. I think you're going to have an answer pretty soon. Okay. Anne Marie, what do you think?
Okay, I would have to agree with
She
you.
laughed. She'd like to
I
agree with me,
left.
but she's not going to.
I am shown that one of the things you're experiencing is that feeling, Sunny, of being on the outside looking in. And that there's a feeling that because you feel like you are being alienated, and I don't know whether that means you are actually working from home for this company or whether you are actually in a business setting at this company. But it says you have been increasingly feeling like you're on the outside looking in, like there's no connection. And it seems like they kind of touch base with you and then they pull away, and they touch base with you and they pull away. Your reading tells me, and I'm with Joseph, I cannot tell you when to look for a new job. But I will tell you that the Page of Wands tells me if you're going to start looking for a job, do so in the middle or the end of this month, because there's a sense that your intuition is very high right now, and I think it's telling you danger, danger, red flags, red flags. There may be something that happens in September or the end of September in which they throw another bone at you that gives you the feeling that maybe you should stay longer. But my feeling is you need to look for whatever is out there that has possibilities of making you feel more secure. I just don't feel like Joseph says, even if you say, I need a straight answer, are you going to be holding on, or are you going to be, where do I stand? I think they're going to give you the rigmarole. So
Yeah.
my feeling is, instead of waiting for them to kiss your ass and give you an answer you want to hear for their own safe, security, so they don't lose another worker, I would say listen to your intuition. Start looking. That's what I
Mm.
see. hmm Okay, we have Lena from Tennessee, and she says, "Hello to you both. I am
Hi,
about
Lena.
to I am about to move and just wondering what the cards say about this. Thank you."
The move. What do the cards say about her move? Oh, the Three of Pentacles, and it's right side up. That's a nice
Ooh,
card because
yeah.
actually it's a good time for new projects, especially if it involves other people as a team. It's a wonderful time for you. And this seems like a group, well, actually, you'll probably have help, no doubt. I hope you have help with your move, or there's other people joining you, because it does show that this is a good, um, it's a good time. There's a partnership involved here, and it's all around a very good time for you to move and to have this new thing, this new project, because I see that it does involve other people, and it's actually it's something where it's wonderful because any hard work is going to be noted, acknowledged, and it's just good planning will make it work out just beautiful. So make sure you do that, and I see good things for it. That's the Three of Pentacles. So keep that in mind because threes will be prevalent, and there'll be something significant you might notice around. What do you think, Anne Marie?
So if I look at Lena and the move ahead, what comes up for me says, uh,
Are we in
I,
conflict?
I think we are, honey. I think we are. I'm going to try that one more time. So if I look at Lena and moving, gosh, here's what it says, Lena. If you feel at all like you are moving in the mindset of paranoia or anger or feeling as if you're skeptical that things will work, do understand that what you put out, you will get back in return. It will cause you to procrastinate, to possibly stay in an imprisoning situation rather than taking advantage of the move. Your reading is saying whatever you do not go into analysis paralysis where you find yourself analyzing things to where you do not do them, or you find yourself so skeptical and so doubtful that you don't take advantage of those three of pentacles that Joseph sees could happen if you do. So I'm only giving you a warning. The warning is do not go into analysis paralysis, or you will find yourself getting in your own way and procrastinating a wonderful opportunity. And that's all
You
I'm
know,
going to say.
and as it is, people see you as a very competent person. Actually, in other people's eyes, you, you do everything right, everything right. So you have and overcompensating probably isn't necessary. You could probably relax a little bit, because people do trust. They actually do respect what you do, and they appreciate the hard work. And I do see rewards coming to you from your hard work. So that's pretty cool.
Chris,
Who's next?
Christine from New York. She says, money is tight, and I just got fired from my job. Can you
Oh,
see when the next job will come up for me? Thank you both. And please
oh
understand
dear.
time frames, Christine, are always approximate, but Joseph, what do you have?
Oh yes, my cards got sticky. I'm
Oh,
just trying
it's
to
this
try to.
humidity. I
It could,
know.
yeah, yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know why that is, but anyway, I got one here. Okay, I am seeing that. Lord.
Not
Oh,
a
I
good
hate
answer.
this. I hate this card. No, God, no. I'm sorry, hon. No, don't get freaked out. It's just that every time, sometimes I get a, and what we have here is that um, I see conflicts at this time. I see conflicts, probably all around. I see conflicts in your life, actually, and I do see that these conflicts come from being unrealistic in what you expect out of people. And what you have to remember is to be very careful with your communications. And that's what the card says, is that it's something that you need to be careful with how you communicate and to make sure that people do get what you mean. Because that would be very helpful to you in finding a new job. Be more direct, okay? And also try to be realistic um, with what you know, and that will help you to assess your skills a lot better. You could put things in a more realistic light to find that job that's waiting. So I am seeing that you're being warned to don't add to conflicts. Instead, uh, try to be more progressive. To try to update update all of your references. Make sure that they still exist because things happen, and also really up to date your current skills. A lot of times, here's what you're being warned against: you're taking a lot of things that you do for granted. Actually, really do take stock of all that you know, so you could present that better. Really do that, and I am seeing that. Well, let's see. I'm not seeing within 4 days because we do have Fords that figure prominently. I'm saying that probably within about 4 weeks, you should be hearing from somebody. But it could take longer, so it could be 4 weeks to 4 months. And that's probably 4 months is probably the longest it would probably go, hopefully, because you don't want to, because otherwise then it starts to get dicey. So 4 months is what I'm seeing here. And in the meantime, this will give you the time to really uh, what do you call it, to prepare yourself. Because I am seeing a lack of preparation, and of course that's not really your fault because you just lost your job or you just left the job and you are unprepared at this time. So you will have time to prepare, and you have to watch your finances, and you have to do everything you have to do to stay afloat, and that's what you'll have to do. But about 4 months, you might be able to straighten this out. Okay, what do you think, Anne Marie?
Well, I'm hoping, Christine, that since you were fired, you were there long enough to collect unemployment.
Yeah, yeah.
And and if not, I hope that you're one of those that can collect on the hopeful new money that comes out for those that are not working right now that need it. I'm going to bring something up like I was your mother. Christine, are you a free spirit? Do you sometimes find that people that are very highly motivated and material and um, that they don't quite know how to take you and see that you go into extremes of um, being almost secretive to being outgoing beyond responsibility? In other words, it's almost like I'm seeing that you're giving mixed messages or that there is a sense that you're having some mood changes that are getting in the way of stability as an employee. And when it says you are a free bird, you are a free bird. And when you are downright obsessive about what you're doing, man, there's no one that can be as obsessive as you. But it says learn to be, perhaps because you do have two sides of your personality,
Uh,
to be a little less honest about what you feel, and know that you may be confusing people with the mixed messages of your two personality sides. So Mama Ann
uh,
says, learn to be less vocal about your mood swings and keep them to yourself. The other thing it says to me is that you have been going through a great deal of anxiety, so don't get
mhm.
impatient. Don't let impatience with yourself, with your mood swings. Perhaps see a doctor about that. Perhaps see a coach, a life coach about that, and try to get balance within yourself. We are in very hard times, Christine, and it's easy to become unbalanced.
Oh yeah,
But I
yeah,
also see the month of 4, and I'm going to
yeah.
say, that's why I'm going to say, I hope that you have unemployment because it seems that it could be almost, I'm going to say October,
Hmm.
November before I see steady employment for you.
Yeah.
And that's what I see.
So marvelous. So who's next?
Marvelous. That's one
Well,
way to look
actually, it's
at it.
good news. I mean, it doesn't sound like good, but actually, what it is that there's a lot that she can do. and
Yes.
actually, and basically it's to chill out a little bit in terms of how you behave or how or what you tell people. Not everybody has to know everything about you.
That,
Allow them to have that. Allow a mystique to build. Actually, where I used to work in an office, people really didn't know. They didn't know me beyond really what I did. And also I just actually that seemed to grow because it seemed that they actually had more confidence in me because I just seemed so together. Little did they know. No. But actually, but if you have a little bit of that mystique, and if you train yourself not to respond right away, not to react right away, take a breath first, take a beat, or just observe first, and then actually in your mind, before you even say the first word out of your mouth, imagine your mouth forming that first word. So if you have a question, you'll have more grace when you ask it. And if somebody and pick a company that you are curious about, or because they will ask you, do you have any questions for us? And they would like to know what you think. So it's something to think about. So that's why I said marvelous, because really this is also a chance for you to go through a transformation in a positive way, a whole new way of doing things. People from your previous job may not even recognize who you are 6 months down the line, believe it or not, because you have taken on a whole different job. So, Anne Marie, who's
I
next?
want to add to that.
Sure.
One of the hardest things for me to learn um, was to shut up.
Oh, yeah.
One of the
I hear you.
hardest things for me to learn when I was at a job is that just because people are acting close and caring does not mean that they are, and often they are the best con artists at
Oh, yeah.
learning how to get private information from the
Mhm.
innocents who do not know how to shut up. And so, those of us that did not know the power of the pause, to think first about, why is this person asking me these questions? Why do I
Yeah.
need to tell these people private things? So I'm waiting for somebody to get out of incarceration. So I am just got busted.
Right.
So I did just find that I had a STD disease or something, and people don't need to know the intimate details of your life,
Right.
no matter what it is, or that you haven't got your green card yet, or whatever it is. You don't need to tell anybody anything, and do what my favorite poet said, which is Angela Maya, that said, or Maya Angela, that said, um, instead of blurting, learn to smile wisely
Hmm.
and look them in the eyes, because you will, one, not say something you shouldn't have, and two, like Joseph said, it
Hmm.
gives you the power of the mystique, and everybody will think that you think just like them.
Right.
So, anyway, I think that that is pretty much. Oh, we have Jan.
Oh,
Jan says,
is it
"Hi,
Jan?
Anne Marie and Joseph. We are ready to put an offer in for a lot, trying to downsize. How do you see that working out, or
Oh,
anything you see coming up? Thank you." And Jan is from LA.
yeah, real estate, huh?
Uh-huh.
I do know that there was a place that the very first one that me and some friends looked at, and it seemed absolutely perfect, and we hesitated on the price, and guess what? It got snapped up from under us, and we never saw a deal like that again. So
And
it's
so
something
this
that
is her,
is I
put,
could
this is,
understand the anxiety involved. So what I picked here was the Queen of Swords in regard to your question. So actually, this is a reminder to stay balanced and don't freak out. But I am seeing that you're somebody who has made a pretty good who has an analytical mind. That's how I see you, and that's you're being depicted here as the Queen of Swords, and you seem to have these natural leadership abilities. So
mm.
I'm sure that does this tell you will you get it?
No, no,
Will
no,
it
no.
be
Well,
there?
she
No.
is asking is she's putting an offer in for a lot trying to downsize.
Oh, well, I'd say your offer. Okay, okay. This is telling you that you really
Oh,
do seem to know what you're doing, because you are the Queen of Swords, and you're someone who finds humor in most situations, and plus you make very good decisions. So this card is telling you, well, you seem pretty smart. Why not? If you know that this plot is something, because you know this plot that you want, and you are choosing it for some very good reasons. So the cards are saying this is the one. Make the offer, and because if this is what you really want, make that offer, and don't make an offer you can't afford. Make an offer that you really feel is in your gut. Okay, that's what this card is saying. So yeah, make the offer. If you want it, that's what you do.
I can't figure out whether she's putting an offer on a piece of land or if she's selling a piece of land.
Oh, well, but actually, she
It
is
goes both
being
ways.
shown as such a good business person, making wonderful decisions. I think either one that that she's doing is going to be the best that she can do. You know what I mean? Like if there's a decision to be made, she will make the correct one. Now, of course, there's no such thing as a perfect one, a perfect decision, because we're looking at, you know, like what's the best you can do at this time. And that's what the cards are telling me. So I'm saying that you're going to make a good choice. That's what I see.
Yeah, I think it
You know, I
says for
see that.
me, I would agree, Joseph. I would agree that what it's telling me is that if in the no matter whether you're investing in or you're selling, I haven't figured out which one you're doing from the question, but I would say put it out there, ask for as much as you want,
Ah,
and I see nobody is going to. What I see is that in the case that you're selling a lot, then ask for your highest bid,
oh yeah,
because
yeah,
that seems to me something that as a good businesswoman is always ask for a little more instead of a lot less. You can always come down. But
right.
I also feel that um, as a seller, if you're buying, I would say I see no problems. I see as long as you're patient and you don't grab up the first thing you see, if you're looking at a lot that is trying to downsize, if that is the case, take your time.
Yeah.
But again, not too much. Like Joseph says, the good stuff always goes fast, but we are
Well,
in a,
yeah, yeah. And you know, the thing is, we felt it. We felt that this was the one, really. We really did. And it's just like, man, and actually the price was good. The price was good. It was affordable. It's just that it just seemed to be too much at the time, and we didn't think we had the assets, but we did. We discovered
yeah.
it later, and it was just too late. The place was gone, and that's it. And we never saw anything like it again either. So that's just the way it is.
Do you want to know something? You want to know something really stupid I did?
Mm.
I was trying to buy a piece of property. that I thought I was paying taxes on. They had said in our town, if you are taking care of a lot in town and you are paying the taxes on that piece of land, in 2 years, if nobody buys that lot, it's yours.
Oh, wow.
Well, Miss Dummy put $1,000 worth of landscaping on it,
Oh,
and there was a little house on it that was kind of run down. Well, the city tore it down and charged me
oh.
$4,000 to have the house torn down. And I said, but wait a minute, I'm paying the taxes on that land. So they put it on a
Yeah.
sheriff's sale. Well, here I was, I'd been paying the taxes. And so the rule was cash only. Well, I went to the bank and
Oh,
I got cash only, and I stuffed it in my purse. I thought cash only meant cash
yeah,
only.
yeah.
Well, the guy at my neighbor right behind me that said, looking good, Annie, looking good, Annie, he was the one that was buying it at the sheriff's sale. So he bought it out from under me, and we were bidding, and then he went above me. And do you know, the only reason I stopped is because I ran out of dollars in my purse, where
Oh,
he just wrote a check and ran to the
oh,
bank and got a loan. So it was like all the hard work
oh.
and the
Well, wait a
yep,
minute. That's not
yeah.
fair. I mean, because
Well,
cash only, they said cash only, right?
cash only means check, debit card, or
Oh,
cash. You see, you would have been
oh,
the
I
dummy
see.
too.
See,
I
see,
didn't
see,
realize
yeah,
that.
I lost out on a house years ago because I have found a small, affordable Victorian out in Paw Paw, Illinois, that I wanted to get. It was only going for like 70,000. I made an offer like 62 something, and at the time I had a very good job. I could have gotten this loan very easy from the bank. You know, I didn't have that money sitting in the bank, but I could have gotten a loan for it, and I would have been able to. I would have been fine. But somebody beat me out by giving cash, and
Oh,
it actually my agent said it shouldn't have mattered to the person selling money. I mean, whether I get it from a loan from the bank or somebody hands it to them. And I kept thinking, what do they do? Show up with a suitcase full of thousands of
I
dollars?
wish
You
I
know?
would have.
I mean,
I
I
wish
thought,
I
well,
would have.
gee. But actually, see, I didn't have the understanding either. So this is important to know. And that's why, of course, you don't. That's why, of course, reading the cards, probably I would have gotten an answer like, Joe, you need to check with a real estate agent about what this all means.
Right,
You
right.
know,
So those of you who
right,
have been told that cash only means go with a big suitcase of cash, honey, no, it doesn't. It means cash,
right,
debit card, or check. But the
right,
problem is it means no charging at American Express,
right,
you know.
right.
And I lost it for $200. $200. That's all I lost it.
Oh, $200. What a
Yeah.
shame. Well, anyway,
Yep.
so I always go with that gut feeling, I guess. You know, gee, this is what I have to. Well, you tried to do that, but you got beat out. But at least you made that effort. You know,
Right.
you did that. You really did
Right.
try.
I sure did,
Oh,
but I sure did
yeah.
lose out. Okay, well, here we have looking for my room. There it is, and that's it for today. Um,
Okay.
we have 12 minutes and 2 cents. 2 cents. I'm still on the suitcase.
$12, 12 minutes and 2 cents. Well, we're always putting in our 2 cents, aren't we?
But anyway, I did want to discuss real quick the concept of analysis paralysis.
Oh, yeah.
And it says, do you have analysis paralysis? It says, you've met people like Jack. Ask him about whether he wants to join you for a drink, and he says, "Oh, I'll have to get back to you on that." Crafting an email to his supervisor can take up to a morning. Deciding where to go for a vacation can take about 6 months of research. Jack's got analysis paralysis. In
Yeah.
Jack's world, all decisions are equal and all require lots of careful thought. He deliberates, he weighs options, he worries about what can go wrong. His brain is running, trying to compute endless possible scenarios, making the Tuesday date just as important and overwhelming as whether or not to take a new job. And if he has to deal with people who he particularly cares about, like his supervisor or girlfriend, the analysis gets even worse. He walks on eggshells and is fearful of saying the wrong thing, getting them upset. Bottom line, he is constantly anxious, not good. So
Yeah.
recognize that when you have analysis paralysis, in doing this for so long, your anxious brain is telling you this. So that is what we see, and we want to say thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
What is your? I have 5:58, so I guess we need to.
Okay. Well, so
Um,
we could
I
do
would
a quick meditation really quick.
yes do it.
I bring the cosmic forces into my being, asking for strength, protection, and guidance. I bring the cosmic forces into my being, asking for strength, protection, and guidance. I bring the cosmic forces into my being, asking for strength, protection, and guidance. Help me to do well. Give me excellent timing in this confusing world. Protect me with your white light. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Bye bye. See you next week, Joe.
Bye-bye. Yeah, okay, bye.
Technology moves at the speed of innovation.